Hello, my name is Ramakrishna. Basically, I am discussing on the topic that is city creation. City creation, basically, I am discussing this five. Basically, one of the person told that here basically we are discussing about security equal to created from thousand cities. How basically you are going to secure the city? For that, basically you require the ideas, na basically. Italy basically is country basically, not city. You have to secure the Italy. So first you will secure the Italy basically when you are going to know the what are the stuff basically happening in this country basically, that is the Italy. That example basically I have already given. One city basically entire city gets underwater, and that basically when it the water comes out from the city, that time basically you have to give the injection to the cities basically. So which injection basically you are going to give that, because which experiment basically which is ongoing in that city, that you should know, then only basically you are going to give the injection basically. So it's very dangerous basically. It's very dangerous. It's not easy to create, sorry, it's not easy to do the security. You should know each and every information. For example, you are handling one software company, so you should know what the stuffs are basically ongoing basically, which type of resources are, which type of stuff basically. You should know that text box equal to thousand cities. Is anything basically going to impact to the text box? Is the text box cities is getting, because you are basically going, you are actually creating your project company is creating what basically your company is creating combo box equal to thousand cities. Your cities company is creating text box is equal to thousand cities basically. So your company is basically creating, your company is basically contributing to what basically, that is text box equal to thousand cities. Your company is contributing to what area basically, text box, combo box, radio button, what basically, that basically you should know basically where we are, your company, software company is doing the investment basically. Because in future basically if you get in trouble basically, so you should basically get the help also na basically. Because it's not like that basically you always basically your company will be stable only. So you should be very clear basically where you are doing the investment basically. For that basically the banking industries are created. They do the investment basically. But banking investment basically can't believe in the banking industry. You have to be your own banker basically. You have to become your own bank basically. You are doing investment where basically. You should know basically. Your company owner basically must know. At least basically company owner basically 100% might be knowing, but you should know na basically where we are doing the contribution in text box basically, in combo box, check box, where basically, that basically, for that basically I have displayed lots of videos. So here basically we are discussing what basically mafia industry and army industry basically, that is connecting to this only basically. Army groups are giving the army service to where, which country basically, which city, that is to text box, that is to combo box. Assume that basically these groups are, both groups are basically from IT industry, because IT industry also have army, don't forget that basically. Text box equal to thousand cities, thousand city have army basically. Thousand cities have army. CRM software is created. CRM software basically has told that basically they have created 1,000 crore tomatoes, and 1,000 crore tomatoes basically has generated, given the contribution to 100 crore people basically. So that 100 crore people basically are thinking, and that thinking basically is connecting to the tomatoes energy basically. Then that time basically if something basically bad is happening, good is happening, there basically the army groups are basically getting deployed basically. So the army groups are getting deployed in the particular city basically, that is connecting to up to what level that you think basically, up to what level things are basically connected. One person told that basically, yeah basically he has think like this way na basically, due to that basically the things basically happen like that, and the army groups basically we need to call the army groups, we need to call the army groups basically. So which army groups are you are going to call basically? Here we are discussing mafia groups and army groups comparison basically. So he told that basically which army group basically he told. Then basically he explained the thing basically. He actually had eaten the tomato or basically pineapple or apple basically. After that basically he got these ideas, and from that idea basically connected to set of chains basically ideas, and due to that idea basically he generated this thing basically. Due to this basically the incidents basically happened in the city. So things has happened, So army groups are deployed for each and every blood groups. So which blood group that particular person was basically, that basically the groups will track, and then basically according to that basically the armies are placed. Few people basically say that basically we advance, in advance basically we place the army group basically, that this thing is going to happen basically. So they basically place people in advance basically. He's going to reach up to this level basically. So you can just imagine basically. Up to that level also people basically are there. So here basically thing is bad task and good task. So in army groups are basically doing good task by killing 1 lakh people basically, and in 93 bomb blast basically few people basically killed 300 people. That was basically the bad task basically. So one of the person told that if army groups basically kills the 1 lakh people basically, they can stay in India basically. But few people basically killed 300 people basically, they basically have to leave the India basically. They have to leave the India. So one of the person told that, ये मतलब क्या है मतलब? So one of the person told that if you are killing any country's people basically, that is basically given as a name as a mafia. And if you are killing any other than country people basically, that is given as a name of a army basically. Then one of the person told that the army groups are killing Kisan people basically. More than 1,000 Kisan basically killed by the army groups. What was that basically? Then the mafia groups asked basically the question basically. What was that? Then basically army group basically can't say anything. There was no answer basically for this. Because more than 1,000 Kisan basically, that was due to army group basically. So here basically more than 93 bomb blast the people basically died basically. More than 93 bomb blast the people basically died. So here basically nobody is going to tell to the army group basically. Why? Because they are legally basically told that basically you can kill anyone basically. And if army group basically give the reference to Accenture company, they will get more preference basically. But if mafia group basically will give some resume to Accenture group basically, they said basically, अरे भाई ये तो mafia group का आदमी. He is basically from mafia group. Sorry, we can't accept the resume basically. But if army group basically give the resume, yes, give resume basically. They give respect basically. Give resume basically. I will call him basically. Like this basically things are basically. So this is basically about the bad task. And army groups are basically legal group basically, who are basically legally given the permission basically. You can do anything. You do whatever thing basically we are going to doing. We are not going to do anything because you have got the Supreme Court permission basically. You can do anything basically. They have got the permission basically. तुम्हारे बाप का ही है हिंदुस्तान, जो करना हो करो basically. That is basically it's like that. Your father's in India is basically. So you do whatever you want to do basically. So that basically army groups have told basically by the some group I think basically. So that is the bad task and that is the good task basically. Now basically the other stuff basically, that is physical stuff basically. Physical stuff means one of the person told that physical stuff basically, how many physical stuff basically you do basically. Then he told that basically sexual activity is there, then the walking activities are there, then the stuff doing activity, heavy activities basically you are doing, that activities are there. Then basically you are sitting at the computer and that basically is also heavy activities. These all things basically required some physical energy basically. Physical energy. If you want to do some sexual activity, then basically physical energy is required basically. Your body should basically support that basically. If you are doing sitting some task basically in computer, so you are basically body is supposed to support basically that. If you are walking basically, if you are running basically, so your leg, hand, body base should support basically. So for that basically you require the energy basically. So this is about the blood cells data basically. So this is basically the creation ongoing, and this is basically in detail basically up to what level educations are connected, up to what level securities are connected, up to what level the bodies educations are connected, up to what level the bad tasks are connected. Each and every stuff basically are connected. So in next video basically we will see a little bit more about this.